It's football time in Houston. And we're ready to play. We got no time to lose now. It's a red, white, blue state. Let's go. We're back. We're back. We're back. First and Zen. My co-host was sick last night. We had to delay the audio recording here. He's feeling better, although some news I just broke to him. He's maybe feeling worse than he was last night. First and Zen.
And I feel like I'm going through the sickness all over again.
Yeah.
I had it coming out of both ends. Cooper was sick 2 days ago. He was throwing up. I caught his throw up in my hands in bed at 4:00 in the morning. And
love that.
2 days later, I got it coming out of both fucking ends. So, things are great. And then I just had this dog shit put on me. We'll get into this news.
Let's get into that in here shortly. A sponsorship from our words in. Put one in top shelf. I am a zinner. I'm probably gonna zen again. Lord, forgive me.
The Mazzinian Falcon.
The Mazzinian Falcon. Okay, let's get into
white
it.
Zinfandel.
That's a nice white Zinfandel. They pair nice with the spearmint, I'll tell you that much. Let's get into it here. We're going to open up with a couple fun facts. Here's the 2 fun facts. Fun fact number 1. If you take the top 5 tight ends drafted week 1, combined points, top 5 tight ends drafted, combined points week 1, you're at 26 points. Isaiah Likely, not drafted, free agent, 23.6. You're talking about a 2.5 point spread, 5 versus 1. Tight ends, you draft them early, they don't pan out. Tight ends, you just close your eyes and you throw at the dartboard. Because who knows?
Is that where we're at here? I'm really curious to see if this is going to be a long-term trend. I really hope not, given I picked Trey McBride pretty early this season. So I hope that doesn't. We'll see. We'll see.
Weird week. Here's the other fun fact. Weird week. So here's just a crazy stat. I haven't done the historic research, but until the Sunday night football game, so there was 12 games played on Sunday. Only one passer threw for over 300 yards. Only 3 for over 250, and there were 16 quarterbacks threw under 200 yards on Sunday.
People are really starting to rethink let's just get our guys healthy through preseason. Maybe these old heads the Lombardis of the day, the old school guys.
Power O, baby.
Maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe they do. They called the Lombardi Trophy for a reason. You play preseason. You practice the way you play. Fuck AI. Practice. No, we need practice. AI.
Practice.
And this is a reason why, because you come out and lay a fucking egg week 1. I mean, every single, who is it? Kirk Cousins looked like absolute fucking dog shit. Give me some other ones. I'm just blanking.
Caleb Williams threw for 93 yards.
Yeah, Caleb Williams looked like fucking dog shit. I mean, CJ Stroud, let's be honest, the guy's a dog, so he comes out and looks like a fucking baller. Anthony Richardson, my quarterback, looks like a baller. But these other guys are looking fucking rough, dude.
16 quarterbacks under 200 yards. That is wild. So an alternative take, though, maybe, just maybe, offenses are getting back to the run game. Maybe the run game's back. Maybe we're pounding the ball enough for this showboating 4 or 5 wide spread offense. Let's get down. Let's line up against your guys and let's pound the rock.
Yeah, my intuition says that's not the case. I hope it is, but I just don't think that's going to be the case, given how every penalty goes against the defense and makes it so goddamn hard. Where corner and safety are so much of a harder position they were in the past days, because you can't lay a hand on the fucking guy. You got to look back at the ball. Like, everything favors high scoring football. Well, NFL, you fucked up week 1 because it was not as high scoring as
it was not high scoring. Oh, and look, you saw last night, Thursday Night Football. You thought there was going to be fireworks left and right. What did both teams do? They were running the rock, left and right, running the rock. James Cook went off. We'll get into that later.
James Cook, great.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
Really nice.
Jesus. So those are the 2 fun facts of the day, brought to you by Zen. And we're going to address here something that Cody and, well, there's a couple owners actually that partake in this next statement. So as you guys know, at this point probably, or maybe Johnny K and my dad probably aren't following along, but as most of you guys know, Christian McCaffrey has just hit the IR. which means Jordan
1, 2.
Mason top for 4 weeks. Jordan Mason, at least for the next 4 weeks, is probably a top 8, top 10 guy. Automatic right off the rip. Had what, 25 week 1. So Cody just told me. Here,
Looks
Cody,
good.
I'll let you take it over.
Yeah. You know me, honest Abe over here. Could have kept this in the back pocket. Don't know if it's going to end up making me look more like an idiot or if it'll come to fruition. Okay, we'll talk about this soon because I'm going to be calling you as soon as I hop off this goddamn podcast. But yeah, so it rolls around. I'm an avid, fantasy guy, and I'm not going to give my source away, but I have an ability to know every fantasy football situation within a second. I'm just Adam Schefter of fantasy football, and instantly see, oh, bam, Chris McCaffrey's not playing football. He's not playing Monday Night Football. I go, oh, that's fucking great. Let me go scoop up Jordan Mason on my fucking bench, and I'm gonna put that there for a while. All my starters have played. I'm like, that's fine. But then I realize, oh shit, every one of my players have played, starters as well as bench. I can't pick them up. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do a little brotherly love here. If I can't get him, and I know he's only going to hit waivers and top waiver is going to get them, I'm going to do a good justice by my brother Caleb and let him know, given he also has McCaffrey, would fuck a season, let him know, hey man, I can't fucking pick him up. I would totally take him if I would, but you know what? I'd rather him go to you than whoever week 12 waiver wire is, or whoever it was last pick. And so here, go do this. And he's like, dude, thanks, man. This is great. Fucking wins the fucking week off of it. Well, come to find out, I'm telling Tegan this story thinking I'm looking like a great guy and not a jamoke. You can actually pick someone up even if all your players have fucking played. In past fantasy season, maybe I can revert to Johnny Kaiser.
It's always been a rule.
This never used to be a fucking thing. If
Always
all my players have played, I am unable to drop a guy that has already played a football game for someone who has not played a football game. I've never experienced that in fantasy football in my life. That's never been a rule. So
it's always been a rule.
I never even attempted to add him because I just assumed it was not an option. Come to find out, I just tested it real quick and dropped Tua after his dog shit last night with Baker Mayfield, who looks stellar. And also I don't want Tanner to be able to pick him up because he's rolling out there fucking Matt Staff. But yeah, you totally can do that.
You definitely can do that. Just a complete error. Caleb, maybe he might have picked him up anyway. I think there's probably going to be a lot of mad owners after hearing this conversation that there was maybe a little bit of insider brotherly information there. But regardless,
I don't see the issue here. It doesn't benefit me. How does that benefit me in any way? If any way, I got hurt the most out of everyone because I would have been the first person to pick that fucking guy up. So doesn't fucking matter. Whatever the other jamokes want to say. I was doing brotherly love, given I care just by pure bloodline, care more about him more than any of you fuckers. So as in Targaryen ways, help out the Targaryen dragons, feed the dragon. Well, really, I fucking fed myself to the goddamn dragon. So the person who's hurting the most is me. Caleb, you'll be getting a phone call to try and see what we can do to iron this out. Given I know that you don't have the same love for me as I do for you, you're probably going to say kick fucking rocks.
He wants Jordan Mason back. Cody says he should get Jordan Mason. I don't think that's going to happen.
I would have got him. I would have got him if I assumed the rule, but maybe me not reading the rule book. Hey,
you got to read the fine print. So I got to read the fine print. And you know what? Schmig of the week goes to Cody Monkier for that one. But I will say poetic justice to some extent, because when you draft McCaffrey 1 overall, you don't want your season to be ruined like that. So to some extent,
no one wants that.
Nobody wants that. You know what? I think overall it was a good thing for the league.
But you know what? For the sake of saying so, I just lost Puka as my second overall pick. So let's get a little poetic justice back this way.
Nobody's giving you Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. I don't fucking see the one dishing that out for me. So let's have a little chat here. I don't know, maybe like a couple beers or something. I don't know. I'll take something, fucking anything.
Yeah, well, as we said, the injury bug is already hit, unfortunately. McCaffrey.
Those real fucking quick. Let's just get
what you have the list pulled up. McCaffrey's out. I saw Kenneth Walker's out this week. Hollywood Brown just got put on the IR. My boy Jordan Love, he might actually play this week, which is just absolutely nuts. I've seen he might actually play, but at least probably out at least 1 or 2 weeks. Tua, obviously, That was bad for the game, what we saw last night. Hate to see it for young Tua and for Skylar Thompson throwing the ball to Tyreek for my team. Don't love that. Mike McDaniel's going to really have to get in his bag. Who else do we got here?
Raheem Mostert landing on
Mostert,
me, as well as fucking Jeff, the other man there.
Jeff Wilson,
Uh,
T. Higgins. T. Higgins missed week 1 and is doubtful for week 2. Who else?
Kenneth Walker could possibly miss some time.
Yep.
Marquise Brown, T. Higgins, we talked about those ones. Those are the largest ones here.
But it's already happening. It's already happening.
Yep. So true train, man. It's fucking happening. It's already hit me. Puka's out for fucking 4 weeks with a
We forgot Puka. We didn't even name Puka. We named him earlier, but Puka's out. The choo-choo is getting started early. We don't like it starting this early. We like the segments, the weeks that we don't have to do a choo-choo train. Unfortunately, you hear the train a coming. It's rolling around the bend.
Yeah, I ain't seen this, sunshine since
Sunshine. I don't know when.
I don't know when, but yeah, you know what? I do and don't like it. It tests the strength of how well you drafted, for a good depth. But at the same point, you don't like to win the season that way. It sucks for those guys. But without further ado, let's get into, a recap of week 1. And talk about some of these things that happened. And what we have is something that's never been seen before. We have a absolute threesome of nails at the top right now, and that's never been done before in the history. And what our analysts are saying is go buy a lottery ticket, go invest in Bitcoin, sell your fucking house, because this has never been done before.
The Black Swan event is here.
What they are very confident is there will be a reversion to the mean. There will be a reversion. We think the analysts do say that 1 out of these 3 will pull away and continue to stay at the top of the trend. Which one we don't know. I'll tell you which one that I think. Schmigasaurus Rex, after a 120-point outing, and in week 2 already starting off strong with a solid output by James Cook at 28 points. Great fucking start.
Schmigasaurus Rex, you in the Hollywood Brown injury, Xavier Worthy is going to be the 2 guy in the Chiefs offense. Schmigasaurus Rex, I hate to say this. I almost want to throw up, but Schmigasaurus Rex might be the fucking team to beat this year. Oh my goodness, he's got a good team.
His biggest issue, again, we'll get into it. Let's just get into the numbers first. So we'll start with his game first. Schmig taking on none other than Hard 8, a guy really respected in the league for what Dylan does on day in and day out, or year in and year out. But Jordan Love goes down. We didn't even bring up Jay Love. Schmig loses Jay Love for about, I don't know, I guess maybe not too much time. Was towards the end.
There was 6 seconds left on the clock. 6 seconds left.
So literally last play of the game. So at least he gets out unscathed there. But Jay Love goes down, so he's going to be rolling with Matty Staff moving forward unless he picks someone up. So that's a little dicey. But other than that, Travis Etienne guy fumbles on the half-inch line, so could have 18 points instead of 11.9. James Cook rolls out 11 points. Cooper Kupp, which
21 targets.
Looking to be the steal of the draft.
Targets. 21 targets.
I had insider trading, I guess did his homework, but you need to be kissing your fucking brother-in-law's fucking feet, maybe even sucking his dick, Lord ball fondage, his choice, but Cooper Kupp was the pick. That as so far, again, we're in week 1. We're not going to overreact. Long season. Puka Nacua goes out and Cooper Kupp snags 24 fucking targets. That's ridiculous targets. I don't know anyone gets. There's some guys who don't get 24 targets in a whole year.
Yeah. Schmig of the week goes to all of us. Cooper Kupp said he's felt better this year than he has in the last 3 years. This guy, what does Matty Stafford do? He just creates wide receiver ones. Kupp has done it before, and I think he went like wide receiver 15 or something like that. It's just ridiculous, inexcusable. I drafted Devontae Adams over him. A lot of people drafted worse receivers over him. When he plays and he's healthy, the guy is very, very difficult to stop.
He's a target machine. He's a stud. Justin Jefferson, a rudimentary, let's call it 14 points by his standards, a low week, but finds the end zone. Mark Andrews, really shitty week. So again, Xavier Worthy, I think he's gonna be boom bust. You got him on a boom week. We'll see if he can be steady Eddie, and then Dallas Cowboys wrapping up with 17 points. So just a big overall week. I think a really, really solid team. Hard 8 has, a rough outing with Rome Odunze in the starting lineup, and then now Rome's actually got some injury issues with the knee. Debo, solid week. AJ Brown, really, really solid outing. So, DeAndre Swift, not a great start for his first tenure in Chicago. We'll see if he can, get those things ramped up. But that was a tough Tennessee D. And then Jalen Hurts, which again, very suspect, 17 points. You want a lot more out of him.
Low week for Hurts. I would say a little questionable rolling out 2 Bears players week 1. Never typically a good idea. So maybe fucking watch some film and realize 2 Chicago Bears at once, never a good combo.
Not going to be a good recipe for success. We'll go ahead and get into the other nails here that produced the second high point, Trumpster. Second high point, just an absolute stellar performance by Lamar against the Chiefs. Guy looked like he was a man on a mission and just going to do everything he fucking could purely with his legs. I'm pretty sure he had like a couple hundred yards passing. Oh, just kidding. 270. That's a lot. He had
he had a great game
and 122 yards in the ground. So just a fucking killer week for Lamar there. Sorry, everything just went out. Zach Moss found the end zone. So day. Rachaad White. Don't love the output in terms.
Bucky Irvin's coming. Bucky Irvin is coming.
Okay, so I had a full-on conversation, which both your father and Little Max gave me a phone call at about 4 p.m. Friday today, trying to talk to me on some trade talks. And I go, you can shove that up your fucking ass, because that was the most embarrassing trade talk. And Terry instantly goes, oh, wow, I did not expect that call to go the way it did. And it just kind of started with, and then I got into Max's head about talking about just pure football. And he's very confident Rachaad White's going to keep, the passing yardage, throughout the year, as well as the rushing tech. I'm like, buddy, 6.9 yards per carry versus 2.6. Cream rises. I don't give a shit where are you coming in. Cream rises.
Bucky's coming. Bucky's coming.
CD, I think there's a lot better days. So they did what they did with CD, having that. And then Jalen Waddle, solid output. No, didn't find the end zone, but 100 yards receiving. How's that going to look going forward with Tua if he finds injuries? Which, by the way, that's one of the fuckers that they offered me. I go, kick rocks. I don't want to touch Jalen Waddle with a 10-foot pole. Kyle Pitts somehow finds the end zone.
Got in the end zone.
Solid 26 yards. You don't love that. But, if you can find the end zone every week, you love that. He's going to be their end zone threat. So that's good for him. And then, again, another poor performance from a Chicago receiver, DJ Moore. So hopefully better days ahead. At least it looks like he was the outlet for Caleb Williams, along with Allen there. But I think there's better days ahead there. And then switching gears over here to the Kraken. I love the start for Anthony Richardson. Very intriguing moving forward. The way I got him in the 9th round, love that. He even missed on 2 long deep balls.
Should have thrown for about 380. He missed.
Would have been 380 and 4 touchdown passes, which would have been, if he's on the dot, that's money. But
not good for the Texans, though. Not good for the Texans.
Not good for the Texans. Javonte Williams, fucking terrible. I don't know why I really like this guy at the start of the year. And just Denver's Denver. So I think we have some, answers for him moving forward, which we'll get to that in a second. Bijan, so day, I think hopefully they just played a really fucking tough Pittsburgh, ran into an absolute blitzkrieg against that Pittsburgh defense. Michael Pittman, dodge shit. I don't know how Michael Pittman did what he did when Anthony Richardson went off, but that's fine. Nico Collins, I fucking love the pick. I think the guy's just a baller. He's going to be a downfield guy all year. Trey McBride, again, hopefully better days given where I picked him, but who the fuck knows? Puka finding the fucking injury reserve. So he started off actually looking really hot. What I do love about my team, I don't like some of those things, but what I do love, Chris Godwin's back in the slot. I think that's huge for him moving forward. Everyone fucking hated on that pick. Oh, fantasy pros. The fucking numbers know things, man. So Chris Godwin, 18 points. J.K. Dobbins, I think, to your point, said he's felt better than ever. And so 23 points.
Good.
You really like the way he's starting. I think it was always an injury bug with him. I never thought it was an issue of talent. I think it's an injury bug. So moving forward, I digress. We'll see how week 2 goes. Talk about a snooze fest with this one. Kaiser Sose and Nave Especial. Kaiser Sose, I don't know. I'll have to look back at the lowest points of all time. I think we might have had 140 point, but 53.
Jake Wearsing put up 47, I believe, last year. Shout out to the Green Jackets.
That's brutal. Sose, you are who we thought they were.
They're in trouble. We had them at last preseason.
We called this. I mean, this is exactly what we expected from you. Your one shining star, and it looks like he did it again in this week too, is Devon Achane. So kudos to you for taking the gamble there, and that one actually did pay off. Marvin Harrison. I mean,
Woo!
surely I have him in a dynasty league, so for our sakes together, I hope he does better. Surely you're hoping week 2, they're like, bro, we picked this guy in the top, fucking 5 overall picks, wherever the fuck they took him. Get this man the fucking ball. Now I did some deep dive stats and looking at the film here. It looked like quarterback was just under just
He
pressure
was.
nonstop. And so
There
some
was
of the
that.
more developing routes where Harrison actually was open, even though he was moving quite slow, it looked like he was open. Um,
He was moving quite slow. Is there a like you watch him in college, right? And he's got these explosive big play abilities. Then he doesn't run the 40, and then he clocks in at his high speed at 16 miles per hour, which is like one of the slowest for a number one receiver. What is going on there? I just don't understand it. You watch his routes too. I watched every route of Marvin Harrison this
there's
last
no
weekend.
there's no
It just
Jimmy Shake. There's
there's
nothing.
no juice there. What's going on? Is he hurt? Like I don't
He looks
understand. I
like
just
he
don't
looks
understand
like
it.
a kid, like whenever you're in middle school and you're like, hey, let's run a 10-yard out route. He literally just runs a 10-yard out route.
Yeah.
Or you're like, hey, just do a go. It's just a straight line. It's like there's no fucking change of direction, shift to the hips. Like, dude, what the fuck?
What's
This was
going
like
on?
one of those coveted receivers we've seen out of college since maybe like Calvin Johnson. I don't fucking know. And you just didn't see it. You didn't see it. Brandon Ayuk was nowhere to be seen. I think he's going to be fine. I think that's
He'll
more
be fine.
related to missing time and
Yeah, he'll be
in the
fine.
preseason. Rico Dowdle, like we said, bro, this is your RB2. What
Ugh.
you expect for him? 3.7. Herbert, I don't fucking love that at all, given they're going to pound the rock. Like, there's just issues everywhere here. So,
They got Jaden Daniels on the bench. I think that's going to be their starter going forward. The guy ran like 20 times last game. He's
very
probably not going to be
curious why
prolific.
that wasn't the starter moving
Yeah,
forward. I think that might be, if it wasn't for me, that was Schmidt play of the week.
probably Schmick play of the week. I think with Jaden's rushing upside, you just got to play him every week. Like he didn't look good through the air. He missed Terry McLaurin quite a bit, but like he just runs the ball and he's one of the fastest guys on the field. And they have Bucky Irving on the bench. We just talked about Rashad White. So there's a little bit of upside here, but I don't see a
Jonathan
lot of good
Brooks,
things.
Jonathan Brooks as well. You need him to be shot up with some steroids instantly. Little what the fuck was the game where you could shoot him up and get him back real quick? A little NFL
NFL
blitz.
Street, NFL
NFL
Blitz.
Street, shoot him up, get him in there, man. Your team needs him bad. Nave Especial. What's always crazy to me is like CJ Stroud, I'm starting to think it's really sad because he's like, as an NFL player, just an absolute fucking stud. But like fantasy, like he just doesn't pop off fantasy wise.
It
Which
doesn't.
is weird. You have the guys that are excellent NFL quarterbacks, but just not fantasy friendly quarterbacks. And I think that's partly too because he doesn't run the ball that much.
Yep.
Kamara, wow. Talk about a guy that, looked like a blast from the past of what you've come to know and love about Alvin Kamara. So kudos for you for picking him where you did. I think a lot of people thought that was a little bit of a stretch, but great pick there. Hall looked great, I think, too, in his, limited fashion there with 54 yards, 39 yards and off the air and a rushing TD. So I think he's going to be fine. Amari Cooper. Browns look bad.
Sean's done. Deshaun's done.
And I can't be more happy.
Bring back Flacco. Bring Flacco back. The Browns are done.
No, Flacco's in Indy.
Yeah, trade for him. Bring him back.
I just picked him up in the Dynasty League. I was like, oh shit, Flacco's in Indy.
I mean, dude,
it's Jameis.
Maybe Flacco signs with Miami.
If Jameis starts for Cleveland, that's actually a great DFS play. I fucking love because he's good for like 3 picks, but he's also going to throw for like 400 yards.
And then, hey, coincidentally, there happened to be another case just randomly pop out of nowhere on Deshaun. Conspiracy theory. Are we trying to get out of the contract? Are we trying to void the contract? Was that some front office Browns inside information?
Browns are sending very, very good looking massage therapists to, Deshaun's doorstep at all costs. That would make a lot of sense. Also, Ramondre Stevenson, talk about a guy that's not sexy.
Nope.
22 points. That's fucking sexy. I'll take 22 points all fucking day.
Absolutely.
New England look really strong, not only as an offense, but as a defense there. So, Drake London laid a little bit of an egg again. We talked about the Atlanta woes. Could be getting better, assuming, Kirk Cousins' health and them getting on track. But
I would be worried about Atlanta right now. I'd be worried. I don't want to, jump the ship that week 1 is after where all the hot takes happen. But Again, I watched a lot of film on Kirk Cousins this last weekend. The guy can't plant off his foot. He looked like a freaking Statue of Liberty in there. Couldn't move.
In the
Boulder
man's
for
defense, Watt was in there in the backfield quite literally every other play. I
That's
mean,
fair.
literally
That's fair. It was Pittsburgh defense.
every time I saw that and I had that game up on the side, it was like, dude, what the fuck? This guy is like a man possessed. I
Yeah.
told Tegan earlier, I was like, dude, in terms of pass, I think JJ was a better all around player, but in terms of pass rush, it might go to TJ. Like, guy's nuts. But switching gears here, Kamish Green Jackets. Kamish has a nice outing with 104 Green Jackets. Again, another guy we said didn't like as much. I guess he was kind of middle of the pack, but
Yeah,
104, 104.55. Tegan has Kyler Murray. I think better days are ahead there. Jacobs, so day. I think if he finds the end zone, you feel a little bit better about that output than what it looked like. Jerome Ford, I think he's going to be steady Eddie again behind that Cleveland offensive line. Tyreek is after, finding himself in handcuffs, just goes out for a smooth 130 and a tug.
love that. That was the easiest call in the world after that one.
But does it pose issues for Miami moving forward with
absolutely
whoever the fuck quarterback 2 is in Miami? Who the fuck is
Skylar Thompson?
Guy's name's Skylar. So Devontae Smith, 11 points there. Jake Ferguson. Oh, another guy who found the injury chain. I don't think he's going to be playing moving forward. So it looks like you probably picked someone up, but as of now, just showing.
I picked up Colby Parkinson, a nice sleeper for the Rams. They fill in the Tyler Higbee role without Puka. I think he could be, in line for 6-7 targets a game. I actually like that pickup a lot.
Honestly, I actually do really like Colby Parkinson. I just want to be devil's advocate here. Devontae Adams, God, man, you just feel so fucking bad for this guy. If there's no way he's staying in Las Vegas, if we're mid-season, Vegas has had a terrible outing, which they just lost to the Chargers, so things are going to be shitty all year. And Gardner Minshew's just fucking up, throwing picks and left and right. Like, if you watch the Receiver Show on Netflix, he fucking hated his life last year. For him to have to go through that 2 years in a row, he's at the point where he's like, fuck money. I just care about winning football games.
Get him on a good team. Get him with a good quarterback. It's time.
Yeah, you get this guy. I mean, if somehow the Jets pulled off Devontae Adams going there, that would be nuts.
I would love that. And, after I made that pick, I think I turned to you and I said, man, I couldn't decide between him and Cooper Kupp. And I fucking chose Devontae with my heart, not my head, because I love Devontae. He did a lot of great things for the Packers, but Cooper Kupp was the play there. I missed that one. I'm very upset about it. Could have had Tyreek and Cooper Kupp every week. That would have been a very beautiful combo. But, it is what it is. We'll bounce back. I got David Montgomery, too, on the bench. I got a solid little 3 staple of running backs. I think my team's all right.
Yeah, I think it's a solid team. Switching over to Green Jackets, Jared Goff, despite having a very pass-heavy game, 11 points. Don't love to see that. Derrick Henry, he did find the end zone. I will say there was no running room for the guy. If you watch the game,
no, there was not.
Kansas City is a great defense. I think people forget that their defense is almost equally as good as their offense these days, and that's what led them through the playoffs last year. So we'll see how it looks moving forward.
Derrick Henry's playing the Raiders this week. That's an explosion game potentially.
Yeah, you should see some big numbers there. Taylor for Indy, I actually had him in DFS thinking he was going to go off. Again, just for both those guys, didn't see the explosion you wanted to see it. The touchdown saved them because they both had 48, 46 yards. So without the touchdown, we're talking about a really shitty performance. And then you have 4 really tough outings from Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Travis Kelce, Christian Kirk, all guys that are respectable names. None of them topped 5 points.
Yeah, that's bad.
So that's brutal. So I think one bright shining, area for your team that I actually really liked coming into the year, but I think you snagged him before, was Brian Robinson with Washington. He got both.
He's RB1 there.
RB1 there, as well as getting involved in the pass game. So a guy that I think you're happy with moving forward. You do also have Dak, I forget, and so I think you're going to be happy moving Dak into the starting position over Jared Goff. Team Bruiser versus Golden Nuts. Bruiser comes out with the 103 win with an asterisk because he got fucking Jordan Mason for 23 points handed to him on a silver platter here. But goddamn, Joe Mixon, you love to see that for the Houston offense. Great. I mean, the 4-minute offense was about as textbook as it could get. You say, I'm going to shove it down your throat for 4 minutes straight, and you can't stop me. And that's exactly what they did. Patty Mahomes, 14 points, subpar day by far and away for his standards. Chris Olave, I think there's better days ahead, but New Orleans, like they just got so far out ahead, they didn't really need to throw the ball, but
Yeah.
that's an offense you should be kind of happy about. And Tegan, I know you weren't a big fan of that offense moving forward, but Kubiak-led offense, it creates opportunities.
It looked explosive.
Creates opportunities. Neighbors, solid day for a week one outing, but you know, what are you really expecting with that quarterback in the offense there? You want to stay away from the Giants offense as a whole. So hopefully they're going to pass often to keep, his numbers up, but cannot be really happy after looking at what they did week one.
Nope.
Taysom Hill actually gets outperformed by what the fuck's the other guy? Is Johnson there?
He got outperformed by
Johnson.
both tight ends. Foster
Juwan
Moreau had a
Johnson,
touchdown, and Juwan Johnson had a touchdown.
Yeah,
So
rough. George Pickens looks so. Again, I know quarterback there is not who they want as QB1, so maybe better days ahead. But yeah, okay. I think again the Jordan. I mean, you have two guys that had 23 plus points that were a really big help to the team. Golden Nuts. Again, we really liked your team coming into it, but just who the fuck would if you would have told me Amon-Ra St. Brown has sub 3 points week one, I would have bet my fucking mortgage and my house on it.
yeah.
I'd have bet that all day. The guy's as steady Eddie as it comes. So you're going to count on better days ahead for him. Mike Evans, God damn it. I fucking
This is
every single year I'm like, I don't want to take him. Is this where the year falls off? And then boom, fucking goes off. Like the guy is just as consistent as can be. Stephon Diggs, despite really low yardage, I think he's going to be red zone target nonstop just because he just finds the end zone. Kyren Williams saved by the day for a rushing touchdown. Again, James Conner, Mike Evans combo, two unsexy guys. They will consistently put out 15 plus point performances, which is what you need. Joe Burrow looked like dog shit, but he also had, Jamar Chase, who had no preseason, as well as his wide receiver 2 not playing in that game. Raheem Mostert, finding the IR is going to be an actor for a while. But yeah, Sam Laporta again, a guy who really did.
Yeah, Detroit put up 26 points, and Laporta and St. Brown only combined for 9.5. That probably won't happen again.
Just weird, man. Just a weird week one.
Weird week.
Bears with a win by 1.4 points.
Game of the week.
And you love to see it. Just a huge game of the week. Josh Allen, that's why you draft your QB1. That's why you do it. And 32 points. Pacheco, 40 points. Walker, a great week one outing, but again, not looking hopeful for week 2, but 20 points. Jamar Chase, despite coming off of no preseason, 10 points. You'll take that. Keon Coleman, 7 points. I don't know what you're quite expecting out of a rookie there, but
goose egg this last week. Goose egg yesterday.
Not good yesterday. George Kittle at 6. Najee Harris at 8.4. So, okay day all around. Got the win. That's what you needed.
Bright spot for Battle Bears though is I think Jamo Williams, who's on his bench, Jameson Williams. He was involved early and often and looks very explosive. That could be a sneaky good pick for the old Battle Bears.
Yeah, that's just great output there. And then come over here, Boss Hawk. Some questionable plays. Number one, he was rolling out there Caleb Williams week one. Again, I know it's going to be a long season, and I have confidence that that'll probably get better. But that was really rough for a guy who says he doesn't feel. What the fuck did he say in Hard Knocks? He's like, no, I don't get nervous. You look pretty fucking nervous out there, buddy. Yeah. 93 yards on the passing with those type of weapons on offense everywhere around you. At home in Chicago, that's not the way you want to start. But 2 just killer performances that pretty much, save the overall output is Aaron Jones, who had a nice performance with Minnesota, and Saquon, which I had a long talk with Marshall Green. I had to discredit his football knowledge as he told me Saquon was not a top 10 running back, which what an idiot. Rashee Rice looks like the true wide receiver 1 in Kansas City. Love to see that. Dalton Kincaid, 1.6 points. You can't expect that moving forward. I don't know what he did. What did he do this past?
He didn't do anything last night either.
5.3. I have 5.3 points, so don't love that. But bright spots. Tony Pollard does look like a true RB1 in Tennessee, and they paid him as such. So
that's Wisconsin Debo, Jaden Reed. 33
Jayden Reed,
points.
love to see it. So some moves there. So I think bright spots ahead. I think everything will get turned around knowing how Boss Hog usually plays. But that wraps up week one. Going into week two, we'll hit this really quickly given week one updates were a little bit more in detail. But Kaiser Sose starting out really strong with Devon Achane at 26 points. Looks like he did put in Bucky Irving as well as Jaden Daniels into the starting O. So that's a great start for him to try and turn things around here week two against Golden Nuts. The Trumpster starting off a little bit slower with 6.5 from Jalen Waddle. So don't love to see that. Kind of tied to the Tua injury. Boss Hog versus the Shimigasaurus Rex. Again, Boss Hog having 5.3 points saved by the bell with the Bills D with an 18 points. That's huge to be able to stay in the game after Shimigasaurus has a killer performance of 28 points. James Cook, three tutties on the day there. Love to see it. Kamish Battle Bears. Kamish, again, not too hot with the Tyreek. He's kind of coming back down to earth with the quarterback change there. But Battle Bears having a really low point outing from QB1 and Josh Allen. You don't see that very often. So kind of a balance out there of stellar players that are underperforming. So that kind of just a quick roundup of guys that played here in week two. But the other outings is going to be Kraken versus Nave Especial, Golden Nuts again versus Kaiser Sose, Bruiser versus Trumpster, Boss Hog versus Schmigasaurus, Kamish versus Battle Bears, and Green Jackets versus Hard Eight. So this will be a week to see, what was true, what was false, and just revert to the mean type situation to feel, some of these discussions that we're having, what's real, what is not. And so we're interested to see how week two pans out.
We're looking forward to week two. Early indicators say that the Schmigasaurus Rex might stay on top of the leaderboard, which again, never been done in history. Is he going 2 weeks at the one spot? Never been done in history. Could he get 2 high points in a row? Also, probably in the decade and a half that he's played.
It may have happened in the past. I think he might have too, but I mean, we've never seen this this
Wild.
is breaking our models in conglomerate with some of our, AI representatives. They're just saying, guys, we Watson with AI is not planning for this to happen, and it's literally breaking it. So, really breaking trends here with the Black Swan event.
Well, good luck, boys. This was a nice summary here. A little bit late in the game coming on a Friday. Hopefully we can get it up tonight. If not, Saturday morning. Still hope, all 3 listeners tune in, still got a good show. Next week will be better, and hoping to start having the co-owners come on and do the interviews. That's some of our favorite things to do. Hopefully the Kaisers can get on this year. I texted them. They're working on with their agents. They're trying to get on here in the next couple weeks, and then we'll start doing the co-owners, reaching out to each of you guys individually. If you ever got a week where you're like, hey, I got some free time on Wednesday, Thursday, let us know.
Come on down.
Let us know. Pop you a Zinni. Let's go, baby.
Have a great week too, baby. Let's get it.
Good luck.